You're about to listen to an excerpt from the book All My Lazy Rivers, written by John Bollinger. This book lovingly yet wryly tells the stories of his Northwest Indiana childhood during the late 1940s up through the 1960s. John, known then to his family as Buddy, brings all the angst, humor, bewilderment, and wonder of childhood to life through this manuscript. The universality of being the oldest child of a working-class family will take anyone back to the innocence and absurd sweetness during a time of growing up when the world seemed simpler somehow, but yet still had the power to bemuse a school-aged boy trying to navigate the journey from boyhood into adulthood. Anyone who grew up with siblings will be able to relate to the ongoing dramas that ensued between eldest son Buddy and his younger brother and sister, David and Connie. So this is where our story begins. Buddy's parents have just judiciously decided to withhold younger brother David's Easter basket for just a few hours to teach him a lesson and to discipline him for deliberately dropping a patio brick on Buddy's head while he is bent over in a garden the day before picking flowers for a bouquet so that he can give it to their mom for Easter Sunday. So listen now to this featured vignette from Chapter 18 titled The Easter Bunny, or Revenge of the Baskets.
As usual on Easter mornings, David and I were up not long after the sun, sneaking down our creaking stairway to the bliss of our baskets. Dad's snoring was a good sign that we were safe to venture into the land of milk chocolate at this hour. My basket, wrapped in green cellophane, was where it was every year, behind Dad's chair. Sitting in that chair, I placed the huge basket in my lap and began to peel away the paper to reveal the treasures inside. David, on his hands and knees, looked into the fireplace, finding only logs and andirons as his Easter gift. When he appeared to be climbing up the chimney, his face covered with soot, I burst out laughing, which got his complete attention. Slowly and methodically tearing away the paper from a chocolate rabbit, I took a small bite, my head moving back and my eyes rolling in ecstasy. "Best chocolate I've ever tasted," I said, being sure, while looking askance, to note the expression of envy on my brother's face. "Where's yours?" I continued to sample the candy in the most unabashedly sensual ways, moaning with pleasure at the quality of the cream eggs, jelly beans, and the chocolate delicacies. My brother stood there in his Navajo print bathrobe with a clothesline belt, growing more and more impatient with the teasing until he asked, "How come I didn't get a basket?" "Maybe the Easter Bunny doesn't bring baskets to little boys who drop bricks on their brothers' heads," I said, snarfing down another chocolate bunny. That did it. Without saying a word, my brother went into the kitchen. I sat motionless as I heard the utensil drawer opening. I froze in panic, remembering David's penchant for quick and thoughtless violence. A mental image of my picture on the front page of The Times and the headline, "Brother Butchered Over Chocolate Bunnies," came to me, and my heart stopped for a moment. Then David appeared in the kitchen doorway, his eyes clear and piercing, temples throbbing. In his right hand was a huge butcher knife, his knuckles whitening as he clutched it. My next thought was, "Here, take my basket, it's yours!" That seemed a reasonable solution, and I figured my life was worth at least a few jelly beans. But saying nothing at all, David walked upstairs, 2 at a time, holding the big knife. Then he slammed shut his bedroom door, which woke up my parents. Dad appeared at the top of the stairs in his boxer shorts to inquire what was going on. I was only too happy to tell him, "The kid has a big knife!" We all went to David's room, and my father slowly opened the door. In bed, with the covers up to his chin, my brother was sitting with his right arm exposed, holding tightly the butcher's knife, knuckles still white from the strength of his grasp. My father's reaction was just what anyone would expect at a moment like that. "What the hell are you doing with that knife, young man?" All our faces were stacked up in the doorway as my brother turned slowly toward us, saying in a voice of absolute and self-righteous determination, "I'm waiting for the Easter Bunny to come back." We looked at one another in amazement. My father coaxed the knife from my brother's hand and closed the door on the rest of us to have a long talk with him. David received his basket later in the day, but my sister's permanent became the next disaster. The curls were like steel coils that actually made her bonnet pop off during church and fly 2 pews behind us. It was like a catapult, but no one was hurt. Connie didn't go to school for 3 days after Easter, but hid in the woods, mortified that anyone should see her hair. She lived on chocolate bunnies and jelly beans for lunch until she was taken back to Harding School by a surprised but concerned truant officer who, had he judged solely by my sister's exploding wild hair, might have thought she had been raised by wolves.
To order your own copy of this great book, go to John's website directly at www.mylazyrivers.com.